This is Dr. Green, and today we're going to go over a squat technique fault that commonly contributes to the development or was the mechanism for somebody's back pain, so that you know and so that you can avoid it. So this fault actually has a nickname, and it's commonly referred to as a butt wink. We'll get into why this causes back pain, but first let's demo it just so you can see it. So essentially what we're looking for is a butt wink is a little bit of flexion or rounding of the lower back and pelvis at the bottom of the squat, and then kind of like popping out of it, going back into like a neutral or even extended position. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the kettlebell and demo a little bit of a squat pattern. So ideally we want the back to stay pretty neutral throughout the course of a squat. So as I start to descend, right, my knees drive forward, hips flex, and I sit towards the bottom of the squat. My back is in still a pretty neutral position. What happens with a butt wink is when I get to the bottom here, it starts to round and my hips sit under and my back starts to flex, okay? Then coming out of it, I go from that flex position either back to neutral or sometimes into extension just to be able to kind of stand back up. So let's watch that in kind of like a slower motion here. So as I sit into the squat, I run out of hip range of motion at the bottom, my back starts to flex to make up for it, my hips sit under, and then I stand back up, almost go into extension and then come back out, okay? So just that little bit of flexion to extension, that rounding and then unrounding, that's the butt wink. The reason that a butt wink contributes to back pain is because it causes these micro movements at the bottom of the squat when the spine is fully loaded that ends up putting a lot of pressure on some of the soft tissues and the discs within the spine. So as a baseline rule, the more load that the spine has, the less movement that should be allowed within the spine while under load. Still, even relatively unloaded, even doing body weight squats, the total volume, if you're doing, 10, 20, 30 reps all the time, even just with body weight, is enough to end up creating a little bit of instability at the bottom of that movement. That creates instability in the spine itself and can contribute to the development of back pain. There are a couple reasons that this happens. Sometimes it's limited ankle dorsiflexion, sometimes it's limited hip mobility, sometimes it's a little bit of like lack of stability in the core and pelvis that causes us to lose posture. Doing a proper exam and assessment and having somebody watch the way that you're squatting can help to determine some of those underlying factors. And so if you have back pain with the squat, it might be because you're butt winking. And if you need somebody to be able to help you figure out why that is and what you can do to fix it, let us know and we're here for you.